two things. There is nothing called as best practice. It's a good practice.
Yeah.
You never achieve the best because the market keeps on evolving. So you need to keep on preparing and agile, whenever a system needs to be adaptive. So whenever it is required, you can integrate and you can improvise that. Now, coming to very specific thing about the treasury automation, I'll start first with the automation and then come to, our practices. So what we realize is that typically, if you look at the ERPs, the best ERPs in the world, whichever are available, they're not good TRMs. They don't have, good TRMs. That's what my practical experience has been. So for that reason, you actually need a market-facing team who can develop in a good TRP for you. The second realization was that you can have an absolutely fantastic TRM available to you. You can have create an absolutely well-developed, well-suited channel for you. But what if all the channel partners are not part of that ecosystem? How does the system is going to function? Because ultimately, let's say you're doing a trade. You can have a beautiful system for capturing of that trade. But what about the other counterpart with whom you want to deal? May it be a bank, may it be any third party, which is not part of that ecosystem. How can you do that? So the first realization was that bring everybody to the same channel, same ecosystem. So what we did was that, of course, we brought IBS FinTech and one of the largest private sector banks of this country to do and test how can you seamlessly develop a system where all the participants, the market maker, the TRM and the client, and plus our clients can be part of the same value chain systems. So you are basically not only, uplifting the system, but you are bringing everybody into the same channels. That's the first thing what we did. Number two, see, Excel is not bad. Excel is actually good for anybody who wants to do analytics, but Excel for record keeping, that is bad because, somebody can play with the data. So what I believe is that the data should be stored or end-to-end automation should happen starting from a deal execution till the deal closure, the BRS. So you have got the, like you have got the FX all where you can record the data. And this is actually, wonderful marriage together, wonderful, integration together where IBS FinTech and Refinitiv are working because you have got abundant set of data, number one. Now you have got a trading platform, which is FX all. Now we have got a TRM, which is IBS FinTech. So basically, based on data, if you can, develop the AI-based models, you can actually execute the trade based on, certain economic indicators or certain threshold limits. So the trade gets executed, booked in your TRM. And now you have got the banking host to host at API-based connectivity. The deal can be settled very seamlessly. So your record keeping and the settlement is happening very well. So what you're doing is that you are then leveraging on the human capital to do more analytic things. So basically, thinking and how you can improvise that. So that's the first point of it. You are not only automating, you are bringing everything into together, and it's more of integration.
And you're actually complementing Excel and freeing up time for your staff. You're maximizing their.
Yes, Excel is good for analytics, but not for let's say record keeping, or because if the dashboards are available to you readily, you can do that. Now coming specifically to Wipro, what are the things what we are doing? Firstly, let me start that our business is completely measured on a constant currency basis. So business is kind of completely immunized from any kind of currency fluctuation. So the entire currency risk moves the treasury, and that's the way to look at it because you have got two different teams. So one is the business, which they are going to be measured whatever the business they are generating, and the currency fluctuation is going to be managed by a centralized, specialized team. Number two, we do not look at netting of the currencies because what we realize in the last couple of years, netting is, if somebody believes that he can manage the currency risk on a net basis, that's a myth. You cannot do that. Any timing mismatch is going to completely spoil your hedging basis. And we have seen, lead and lag between your receivables and the payables. So basically what you need to do is that you need to target both of this and you keep on improvising both the realized rates for your imports and for your exports. That's the number 2 point. Number 3 point, we do not believe in the mechanical hedges. Like you get an import, you go and take an import cover for that, or you receive an export, you go and take an export cover for that. So if you're doing that, you are just being too mechanical about it. You need to decide how much threshold risk you can manage, and based on that, you need to take the fundamental macro view, micro view, and you need to basically execute the hedge based on certain amount of views. Now, if since, business is completely immunized for any kind of currency fluctuation, business is not bothered about, reporting currency, how it's going to impact you. So it's basically the role of the treasuries. And this process, the biggest thing is that you are not only, looking treasury from a business function, you are looking actually treasury as a profit center, because how well you are capitalizing and improvising. Because personally, what I believe is that no function today is a support function. Every function is a business function, and that's how the world is evolving right now. So you are looking both as a treasury, as a profit function, and at the same time, you have got now measurable index, measurable metrics to look at, how the treasury is adding value to the overall system. So that's the number 3 point. Number 4 point, right now we are working on the proprietary models. So basically to look at it, how we can, execute the trades based on bot models. It's like if I have got my tolerance levels, which is in multiple regression with an, looking at various factors, because we as humans, we have a limitation in terms of how many factors independent with the variables we can build it to a model and look at it where the currency is heading. So if we can, do through that in AI based, so we will be able to execute the trades based on certain parameters, certain specific numbers, or we can, define that, and then the system will keep on learning and then improvising that thing. So that's the part what we are working on right now. Last point is that, so extremely, as I started to reiterate my point, and again, Grover has put emphasis on that point, that liquidity will always define fundamentals. So see, interest rate risk can create impact on your profitability, but might not kill you. But liquidity is something which can kill you very, very fast. And historically, it has happened with Northern Trust. It has happened with the current banks right now. So you need to be very particular how well you are utilizing your cash for that matter. So if you can improvise your cash utilization with a predictive model, of course, you need that, you need to give that time for that, predictability to come in. So that will give you immense value creation. And everybody is, the entire world, if you look at it, is more or less looking about how they can improvise their utilization of their liquidity, utilization of your cash, because every cash lying surplus, which is non-interest yielding for you. 6 months back, actually 1 year back, you are paying penal on that when the euro interest was negative. You are leaving $100, 100 euros in your account, you're actually getting next day 99 point something. So you are reducing your capital. So for that reason, it becomes extremely, extremely crucial how effectively your utilization, your cash part of it. So that's what we are working on it, how we can improvise on it. But as I said, every TRM to come into, or every system what you're implementing, it's a journey. You cannot expect in a time-bound approach that this is the best process, or this is the best practice, or this is the best system. No, it doesn't happen like that. You need to give that time so that the system can nurture along with you. And if you believe that one shoe fits all and plug and play is a model which exists, even if the plug and play model exists, your shoe size will be different. So you need to customize, and you need to give long period of time to the system to mature and system to cater to your requirements. So it's the journey what we have started right now. And the target is eventually to go into in a system which should be looked as a benchmark system across the world. That's what our aspiration is all about.